welcome you back inside of the Mullins Center, campus of UMass. Starting lineups: Lindsay, Lamamba, Chris Dunn there, number 3, Bentel, who's a great one, Bullock, Clark, Hines, Davis, Coleman, and Holloway. UMass will wear their home whites here tonight, Chris, and Providence in their road black uniforms. Providence, as you get a look at Bentel, number 10 in the nation. Quick turnaround for them. They just played Ryder on Saturday night. You think that will be a factor early?
I don't think so. It's like the old Big East, the big Monday. You play Saturday, you come back and play Monday. They're accustomed to it, no big deal.
UMass has been off for a much longer stretch. They last played on Wednesday, and the ball game is underway. Chris Dunn with the rock. Just mentioned all of his accolades, and he hasn't played their last couple of games. He hadn't felt well. You got a real good scoop on that this morning, didn't you?
Yeah, he had a low stomach flu, and it hurts when he coughed. And at the end of the day, you know, they needed him to be out for a little bit to show what some other guys can do, and the team has been better off for it. But guess what, though? It's good to have him back.
Yeah, they're happy. And as Ed Cooley, their head coach, told us, he said, we want everybody to think our team is just Chris Dunn. They're fine with that.
I tend to disagree with him on that one.
A little sarcasm in there. On the baseline, no good. Battle for it inside. Great save on the line by Lindsay, who had a tremendous game on Saturday from the wing, and he continues that. He knocks it down from downtown, and Providence leads 3-zip.
So that can't make Coach Kellogg happy. That's one of the keys. They have to box out, give them a one-shot game. It cannot allow them to play volleyball on the rim and get an open 3.
Here is Davis, that 40-point game against New Orleans. Drove the lane there. He is from Texas and a very good player. And there's the head coach, a man you know well, Derek Kellogg. He's basically a hometown guy through and through.
I mean, you saw him at warm-ups today.
Yeah, we did.
And he was doing a great job of just being energetic. And I asked him, I said, are you ready to play? Do you have a uniform? He was fired up.
He beat all of us at the shoot-around to the punch, because I myself, as Bullock launches from 15, no good, rebound to the Minutemen. We were all reaching for our phones. He made a shot from half court on the first try. So what's the call here? There's going to be a call against UMass. They're going to call a push down inside, Chris.
Brown's certainly not happy about that, but to get back to your point, he walked up with all the confidence in the world and launched it, and it was all net.
It was awesome. It was a walk-off half-quarter. And a turnover here. Davis not happy with that. Neither is Kellogg. His team down 3-0 here in the early going here against number 10 Providence.
See, that's something that will make Coach Kellogg very happy, because they worked on that out-of-bounds play. That's a lob play that Providence wants. So to get to get a foul on him early like that is great. Get him in foul trouble, changes the game.
Here is Hines. He runs their ball club from the point with the left hand here. Trying to shake and get away from Bullock. Got into the lane, lost it. And Bullock down on the deck. The possession arrow is in favor of UMass. They'll get it.
So that's important. See, Davis, number 12 Davis, number 5 Hines are small guards. Providence has a lot of length, and they bottle you up. Says he's driving in. See all that length, Bentel inside? I mean, it's really hard to score and see when those guys have those long arms.
There's that release you talked about from Davis. Went for 3. Number 3's got it. Chris Dunn, little push. Then he kicks into the corner. Contact, no foul. Lindsay again knocks it down. Jalen Lindsay with 2 threes, and it's 6-0 Friars.
Great start by the Friars, but what you did not see on that play is how Chris Dunn avoided the charge and kicked it to the corner for the open 3. UMass has to get back in transition and do a better job. They don't want to get down this quick against a juggernaut like Providence.
That's a good point. Here's Dante Clark in the lane. He draws the contact. And we'll get back to Clark, but we'll look back at Dunn first.
So watching transition, as I call him RoboCop, watch how he steps and avoids the charge. Hines tries to take the charge, and there's a drop and a layup right there from the corner. Easiest shot in basketball.
So that was the forearm of the law, I suppose, there, right?
He's tremendous. He does it on both ends of the floor. That's what makes him so special.
So here is Dante Clark at the line, and as much as we've talked about Trey Davis, let's not forget Dante Clark had 30 points. He was 9 of 14 from the field. He had 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals in that overtime win last game against New Orleans.
He scored 100 points, and anytime you score triple digits like that, somebody's getting some numbers somewhere. And they were coming off a 3-game losing skid, so that was really important and maybe needed that confidence going into this game.
Here is Lamamba, good all-around player for this Providence team. You run out of room when you're preparing for a player like Chris Dunn on your chart. They go inside, and it's off the hand of Lumumba, turnover. And UMass down by 5 here in the early going, Chris. And this has been a trend they don't want to see continue.
It has been a trend, and you can see that Florida trip at UCF, at Florida Gulf Coast, is like the old NBA teams when they would go to Miami. That was a problem, making sure everybody's in the night before. If you ask Coach Kellogg, he'd love to have those back, for sure. Because he thought about they'd be 8-2 right now as opposed to 6-4.
Inside, they work it in there, and they get it into the hands of Rashawn Holloway, all 6'11" and 335 for the easy bucket.
I mean, he's a load to handle inside. It'll be interesting to see how Bentel plays against him. But exactly that right there, the two-handed hammer, Rashawn Holloway's going to do a better job of closing out, because that's going to happen all night long.
Big Ben rising and finishing for the Jam, a 5-point Providence lead. This is Holloway. Bentel's built. Holloway is just big and thick and nasty inside. Good work inside. The follow-up good from Zach Coleman.
I like what UMass is doing. They're throwing the ball inside, and I like them extending the pressure against the Friars. Take the fight to them.
Here's Lumumba, takes it right inside. Bullock trying to win the battle, and it's tied up, and it's going to go over to UMass.
Talk about slow starts. All of a sudden, the UMass crowd is into it, and the Bennett men are getting energized.
Students are on break, but still a good turnout here for this ball game Monday night on Christmas week. Alongside Chris Walker, all of our crew, my name is Ben Holden. Great to be with you. That's 2 fouls on Bullock now for Providence. Here's Hines. Lost the dribble, now slows it for Davis. Coleman looked at Holloway. Now to Davis. Lumumba, hand in his face.
They're so long, partner, they're so long, it's really hard for those smaller guards to get to the rim. They can space you a little bit and cut off driving lanes, just contest shots.
Into the offensive end, Providence. Swinging all the way across. Dunn thought about the 3, defended by Clark. And it's going to be a foul called on Clark. And the UMass fans voicing their displeasure. We'll take a timeout. Big Ben. Ben Bentel rising up and finishing for Providence, number 10 team in the nation, up by 3 early.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by Continental Tire, for what you do.
Back here in Amherst, Massachusetts. Time now to take a look, Chris, at our keys to success brought to us by Acura tonight.
I mean, it's plain and simple. Providence has to pound the ball inside to Bentel and Bullock, and their defensive intensity, getting back in transition, is going to be key. UMass, on the other hand, it comes down to one thing. You got to have a one-shot game. That's the most important thing. And lastly, they got to keep RoboCop Chris Dunn out of the lane.
And they got to stop that, too. Ben Bentel outside, knocks one down from distance. That's a 3. And he is really, really developing just a tremendous all-around game, this young man.
We talked to Coach Cooley after walkthrough, and he said he wants him to shoot 3 to 5 threes a game.
Gets the rebound inside, does Bentel. Cartwright is checked in for Providence. He's checked into the ball game, and he's in for Chris Dunn. Just joining us, Dunn coming back from an illness he was dealing with, so that's something they're going to watch. Certainly is his fitness early on. As they miss from deep, it's Bentel up top, and it's going to go over to UMass. Foul called.
The good thing is they're accustomed to playing without him, and they've won some big games. Rodney Bullock stepped up big in a few games, so this is not they're not a stranger to this situation. But also Dunn is coming back in.
Yeah, he wasn't out long.
Not at all.
His fitness is good, trust me, but just game getting in there. But he's a young guy, should be fine. And you know, he was chomping at the bit to get back in. Players hate sitting out, you know, from the playing days.
Certainly right about that, and he wants to get in there and play every second, especially if you're going to play him. And I'm sure he's trying to get his wind back, get his conditioning back, and they're playing UMass, so they definitely, on national TV on CBS, so he wants to go out there and show the country what he can do.
So does this guy, Antoine Space, playing his first game of the season. He's wearing number 3. Spent a couple of years at Texas A&M, and Kyron Cartwright walked with it. Turnover and unforced error, and it'll go back over to the Minutemen.
UMass sprinting back in transition is going to be key. Can't give up easy baskets to Providence. Got to make them earn every single possession.
Here is Space, who's making a statement with his kicks tonight.
Yeah, it must be the shoes.
Straight out of Space Jam. Here's Hines now on the deck trying to shake away from Bentel. Gets it outside, and it was into the hands of Seth Berger. They like to use him as a shooter. Clark, no good. Cartwright's got it.
Providence will settle, allow them to do that all day long, take contested jump shots. And again, I've talked about it before, UMass has to sprint back in transition, locate a man. He's coming down in transition. Somebody's got to stop Chris Dunn. Got to catch, got to mark the ball first and stop Chris Dunn, because he's got his head up at all times and he can find people and make plays.
Foul was called there inside on Tyler Bergantino. Here's Junior Lamamba from the basketball hotbed. He's born in Montreal, but he grew up in Wisconsin. Good all-around player. Hines will check out. And they've called on C.J. Anderson to take a spot.
Always wanted to visit Montreal, but my French is not so good. I know how to say croissant.
We'll have to work on that. So it's 12-5, Providence on top here. And the Friars are 3 of 3 from downtown so far in the game. Lindsay with 2 of those. Bentel knocked down the other one. There's Clark in traffic. No foul called. Bentel's got it for Dunn.
Great defense there. Curl cut, no foul.
Look at Dunn. Hang and finish. Chris Dunn. Beautiful job of body control there.
Talked about in transition. I've said it time and time again now. The head of the snake is coming down. Somebody has to level him off and make him go side to side. You can't get it with a head of steam coming. He's too good.
Knocked away inside by the Friars. Now Dunn the other way. Right to the rack, and it's blocked. Space got him, and then Edwards had it. Did it go off of him? Yes. Great job by, well, 2 guys that are returning to the lineup, and Dunn kind of hobbling back out of your picture, but we'll look back, Chris.
Unbelievable play. He's coming at you again with a head of steam. Unbelievable block, as you said before, by Space. Getting back. Again, those are kind of plays that can ignite UMass. They need something to get them going right now.
See what the Minutemen can do here. We played 7 minutes in the opening half. Number 10 team of the nation, Providence on top, 14-5. Bergantino, lefty no good. Rebound Dunn. Just gets up there and does everything as you said. Here's Cartwright. He'll kick now. Lindsay's been hot from outside. Not this time. Kept alive by Bentel. Edwards can't finish. Friars had another chance. And now Davis runs into Kyron Cartwright at midcourt.
That's Cartwright's second foul. But again, UMass got to get back. They have to sprint and transition. They need some other guys to get involved in the fight, because the team in black are sending everybody to the glass.
Into the lineup now for UMass is number 10, Malik Hines. And Lamamba checks back in as well for Providence, as Dunn's going to come over and take a seat on the bench. Providence 4 of 11, UMass 3 of 11 to this point. Bentel takes a seat as well.
UMass has got to get this tempo under control. They usually play pretty fast pace, but Providence has smaller numbers. They got to try to control them and make baskets so they can set up their press. Slow him up.
Trey Davis got the friendly home court shooter's roll there as it rolled in on the front rim to make it a 7-point deficit now for the team in white UMass.
See, I don't mind Trey Davis driving, force him to make 2s. Don't let him get going and make 3s and get to the rim as well.
Here's Cartwright, gets free, good spin move, no good. And Berger the rebound, gets it ahead now into the hands of Anderson. Anderson, little pass for Space, takes it in strong and draws the foul on Cartwright. Ed Cooley is 8 feet out onto the court. He is hot. So a break in the action here, Chris. Good tempo so far.
No question, Chris Dunn doing what he does. Robot Cop going to the rim and making things happen.
(14-7), Providence on top, and at the outset of the show we mentioned that upset that UMass had. It was back in '04. UConn number 7 at the time. It was 11 years ago on December the 9th. This Providence team tonight, the highest ranked team to play here since, and on that, as you said in the open, magical night. It was a 2-point win as you were a part of the UMass staff for the Minutemen.
Certainly a fun night. Rashawn Freeman, I remember him jumping on the scoreboard till this day with 2 seconds to go on the clock.
Really?
Yeah, everybody screaming. Steve Lapis, our colleague, was jumping up and down. But that was a great night beating Jim Calhoun, UConn that night. So special.
So very similar, highly ranked team and a Big East team as well. 14-7 the score, and I want to remind you the Doug Gottlieb Show is fast-paced and always opinionated. Get to know Gottlieb face-to-face with the Doug Gottlieb Show, presented by Sleep Number, Wednesdays at 3 Eastern on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
That'd be tough on Space, just coming back.
Sure.
Been out the whole season so far. No practice, no games, and stepping right in says what you think. Coach Kellogg thinks a lot about him, that's for sure.
Played at Texas A&M and Florida State.
Been around. Graduate
2000
transfer.
Yeah,
it's been around.
A well-traveled path for the young man from DeSoto, Texas. There's another guy on this team from DeSoto as Bentel takes it in. Draws the foul, does Ben Bentel, who is a tremendous story in his own right.
He certainly is. You laughed at me earlier when I called him Tex. I'm from Texas.
You said, hey,
they
Texas.
Got 3 kids from Texas on the team.
Here's Bentel.
Call him Tex. Bentel's just a load inside.
He is.
I mean, think about it. He's a guy his size. He can make threes. He can drive to the rim. I mean, he can do anything out there. Similar to Dunn, but his improvement is unbelievable, though.
It is. They want him to do what he did earlier in this game, and that's knock down a shot from distance, and he is just a complete package. He's a young guy. He's only a sophomore, 6'9" and 235. Grew up in Ghana, was a soccer player. Played volleyball, didn't play basketball until he came over here.
Right?
Striker, yeah. Goal scorer. I said
he knows how to score goals in this game as well.
He does, field goals. I said, were you a goalie? He said, no, I was a striker. Knocked away. Good defensive work by Providence. Here's Dunn, and they get it inside. Lindsay, it's knocked away, and UMass, Malik Hines felt like he blocked it, but they're going to call a foul instead.
One thing about Providence, when they get the ball on the fast break, they're flying up the floor. When number 3, Dunn, has the ball, everybody knows, just sprint the floor. He will find you. UMass has got the sprint back. But again, I keep saying time and time again, they have to stop Dunn. He's the guy, is the catalyst that makes it happen.
So at the free throw line is Jalen Lindsay, the sophomore out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Had his first career double-double Saturday against Ryder. 13 and 13, had 3 assists. All of his points, Chris, came in the second half. He started for Ryan Fazekas, who's out with mono and back in Indianapolis.
And the coach was very high on Ryan Fazekas. He thought he could be the rookie of the year in the league, and he was playing at such a high level. And think if they had him right now, what the team would look like.
Look out, here's Lamamba back the other way after the UMass miss. Coming up on 9 minutes gone here in the opening half. Here's Dunn inside in traffic, and RoboCop does it again.
I mean, he's just special. He can score from all areas of the floor, and getting that and one, just fighting through the contact, making a basket. There is right on the elbow, going right through. Got to bring help over very quickly and make him distribute the basketball.
6'4", 220-pound junior. Played just 1 year, 1 full year. He's dealt with shoulder injuries. Can't complete a three-point play, but he is, I said to you this morning about Dunn. Get back to that in a minute. Double-digit deficit here for UMass, and they throw it away again, but back to Dunn. I said he's a top 10 pick, right? You said he's a top 5 pick, man.
Top 5. I would challenge anybody on any airway to tell me a guy that's better than him.
Yeah.
You know, he can do every single thing. You know, from assists to rebound to making other guys better. And the best thing, the best compliment he got is Coach Cooley says that he's the best kid he's ever coached. That's the best player.
That's strong. 4 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists for number 3. Here he is in tight. Tried to get it in the hands there. Ben Bentel deflected out of bounds. Last touch by UMass, so Providence will have it.
I'd like to see UMass, obviously when they get back and they can stop them and make it a half-court game, maybe run a boxing one, take Dunn out of the game. He's making every single play.
Lines inside, got fouled coming across. I believe it was Lamamba that came over and got him. So Hines showing a good burst. Here we look back.
They're just getting up the floor. That's what they got to do. They got to create some baskets off a little turnover there. The fans like it because they finally call a foul on the black team.
So here is Jabari Hines. He's a redshirt senior.
Started at West Virginia.
Yeah.
From New York City, Mount Vernon High School. You know, went to Mount Vernon. I'll never forget I recruited him. Ben Gordon.
Really?
Yeah, big time player.
Another Big East guy.
It was a waste of my time. I drove up 95 about 100 times. And one day Calhoun walked in. I said, oh, this ends here.
It's been real. Nice knowing you, buddy.
It's been real.
There's a pass for Bentel. Big Ben slams through another one for Providence. The lead now is 11.
I mean, it's unacceptable for UMass. I know Coach Kellogg has got to be burning him up. Got to get back. Now, he's made a three, but they can't be trading baskets with the number 10 team. You got to get some stops.
Dante Clark knocked it down off his 30-point game last week. And halfway through the opening half, it's an 8-point game. UMass shooting 1 for 4 from downtown. Dunn thought about it, now thinks it again and buries it. Chris Dunn, lethal, sticks it 23-12 now.
That's when you say layup. Got to get a hand up. Now, obviously, the goal is to keep him out of the lane, but if he's making threes and he can get in the lane at will, it's going to be a long night for UMass.
It is. Here is Antoine Space, and that rejected by Bentel. Now Dunn will push it. Here's Jalen Lindsey, right in, easy finish, and a timeout for Derek Kellogg. It's 25-12, Chris.
It's all transition. It's all transition. They have to sprint back. They're getting them to miss. Now, obviously, UMass needs to make some baskets so they can set up their press or set up their half-court offense. But if you don't, half-court defense, but if you don't score, get back because number 3 is coming at you with a head of steam.
Doesn't look like he's missed 2 weeks.
Not at all. Not at all.
Looks very good.
You know, they do the Bears. Bears hibernate, you know. They just He's just waiting to come out, and he's showing his claws today because he is doing a number on the UMass Minutemen. And I'm sure right now Coach Kellogg is heated up, and he's getting his guys. But, you know, Coach Kellogg's been there before. He's been in a lot of big games, so he'll get them going.
Look at Chris Dunn, and let's look back at him to the hole and then from outside.
I mean, he's the guy, he can do it all. Inside, outside, no hand. I understand they're saying they don't want him to drive, but you still have to put a hand up in a guy's face that good. Cannot just allow him to shoot a horse jump shot. He can make that. 7
points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists for Chris Dunn.
Remember the comment Coach Cooley made, said, we're pretty good. Let everybody think, you know, we're good without him. As a coach, I don't know about that one. I'll take him any day.
Still a good team.
I'll take a sick him.
Boston College game was when he went out, didn't come back for the second half. Ball was kicked there by Dunn defending, so UMass will maintain it and then miss the next couple of games for him. And you and I were pleasantly surprised when we came to shoot around and saw him getting ready. And
we got excited.
We did.
Yeah, nothing.
You want to see a great player play. No question.
It's what these front row seats are all about.
That's right. They're very expensive. Here's Hines, left-handed floater. Nicely done by Jabari Hines.
Definitely getting to the rim. Providence has got to wall that off. Can't allow him to get to the rim. But at the end of the day, if he misses that shot, they got to sprint back. That's their best offense is getting back. So Hines has to make that shot. But they need their triple their guys. They need Clark, Hines, and Davis to get going.
Doesn't help.
My goodness. I can't even complete my thought. There he is with a dunk. This dude is on fire right now. The highlight reel is going to be unbelievable. And it's just the first half.
Bentel continuing, mentioned his game developing, the inside game there. He runs so well, the outside game and that vision, the passing. Now here's Coleman from downtown, no good. Bentel and LaBamba, teammates battling for it.
You look at the body of Bentel, it's only going to be one shot. You run into a brick wall.
Here's LaBamba from downtown, no good, coming in. Nice job by Lindsey to tip that back out. Now Bentel will try again. He knocks it down. Does Big Ben Bentel.
They're just getting outplayed. Got to do a better job of making it a one-shot game. Again, Providence is sending everybody to the rim.
Battle for it here. Davis, bodies on the deck. Trey Davis now against Lindsey. They'll slow it down with Dante Clark.
UMass got to settle down a little bit, move the ball around the floor. There's no 20-point shot. Just got to take it 2 by 2 and get back in transition.
There's Bentel with a block. LaMamba the other way. Up and good. Providence on fire here in the early going. They lead 32-14.
I mean, if you're Coach Kellogg, what do you do here?
And a foul inside. Dunn went up hard. He didn't pick on the smallest guy. He picked on the biggest guy at 6'11", and he took down Rashawn Holloway. So Chris Dunn, he can do it all, Chris Walker.
He certainly can. Here he's again on the back door, and he's saying, two-handed dunk. See ya.
Alongside Chris Walker, my name is Ben Holden. This game has really been what Providence wanted for UMass, not so much so far.
No question. As advertised, number 3, Chris Dunn, is taking over this game. Coach Kellogg's got to get his team settled down. They got to get back in transition and force Providence to score in the half court. But number 3 has been phenomenal.
He has been that and then some. He's been great. And as we went to break, there was a foul that he made. They're looking at that, reviewing it, taking a look to see if it was of the hard foul variety.
I mean, he went after Rashawn Holloway, but again, it was a hard foul, and the ref comes over, and we'll see what the ref says and what kind of decision they make. But he did a good job of not giving up the layup for sure.
All right, so Chris Dunn and his guys, we're just told, we were just given a signal, it's 1.
Okay, 1, okay.
Yeah, so that's the ruling on
He was
the
signaling to me. I didn't want to throw you off there, partner. He was
So let's look back at it, and your thoughts on it, Chris.
Again, it's a hard foul, going for the ball. And I don't know if Chris Dunn got the worst of that, to be honest with you. Big fella Rashawn Holloway may have had a couple steps there. It's a hard foul. You know what? It's a Big East foul. It's what they're accustomed to in the Big East. That's the old Big East when I played. They come there, no layup rule. Look more dramatic, bodies flying all over the place, but you know what?
It's called a flagrant.
Called a flagrant.
Yep. So here's Holloway.
Got a veteran referee staff. That's how you know you're doing a big game, when you come and you see the guys we're looking at. You know that we've arrived somewhat.
Work in progress,
Work
right?
in progress.
Roger Ayers, Brian Kelsey, John Gaffney are referees for the ball game. Dunn's on the bench, and it remains 32-14. We'll give you a peek at the rules, the guidelines for flagrant fouls.
Excessive contact, and that could be deemed as excessive contact. And at the end of the day, the refs call it. But UMass didn't take advantage of it by making the free throws. Providence going zone now, switch it up a little bit. Dunn's out of the game.
Antoine Space, bounce pass to Holloway. Holloway using that size inside, can't get it to go. Space the rebound, missed it. UMass has got to have that inside, and Space goes up, and he draws the foul inside against the Friars.
I mean, Space is giving them some energy, and they must see something in Rashawn Holloway. They continue to throw the ball inside. He has to take his time and finish against Bentel. Inside, Bentel's doing a great job of verticality, keeping his hands up. Just got to go inside and just take it to the rim. Don't close your eyes, as they say. Keep your eyes on the rim and make the and one. Now, that's 3 free throws in a row that they've missed. They need everything they can get against Providence with this large lead in the first half.
Space out the first 10 games. He's dealing with a personal matter. They're glad to have him back. Gives him some depth and some size. And to your point, Chris, the Minutemen 3 of 10 at the stripe so far, as we're inside of 7 to play in the opening half.
When you pull off big upsets, there's a lot of things that have to go right, and one of them is making free throws.
Lamamba inside against Holloway. Lamamba had it blocked inside by Holloway, all 6'11" of him. Here
Holloway's
comes.
a load. He's really playing hard and making some plays.
He is. Trey Davis into the front court. Anderson from downtown. Got it. Sticks it for 3. Does C.J. Anderson. Big bucket.
They needed that. Again, they got up in their transition offense very quick, moved the ball around, got some dribble penetration, a kick 3. Providence, don't let them get back into the game. Stay with the game plan.
Here is Lindsey from deep. And it's going to go back to UMass, so another opportunity for the Minutemen to chip away at this deficit, which is now 15 for Derek Kellogg. Team out to a 4-0 start, but as you mentioned, that Florida trip, they stubbed their toe a little bit. 6-4 entering the game tonight.
Florida always does that. Always does that.
A lot of distractions.
A lot of distractions. They got a chance to get their team together. They're guys that can score the basketball. Got to do a better job on the defensive end.
There's a 3-pointer on the way. That one good and through from Seth Berger. And Cooley takes a timeout. That's exactly what they want from Berger, the redshirt sophomore out of Seattle.
And he is not happy. He's heated. And what that was coming off the ball screen. You got a roll to the rim by Holloway. And the lift. See the lift by Berger at the top of the screen? That's a common play. It's an NBA cut. Drive to the rim, dive, occupy the weak side, and then the weak side guy lifts up for the shot, and Berger knocks down the easy three.
So 32-20 with 5:53 to go in the half. Tomorrow, CBS Sports Network continues on the road to the Final Four with an action-packed quadruple header. Number 13, Miami, opens up against LaSalle at 5, followed by Georgetown and Charlotte. Number 25, South Carolina, and St. John's in the Basketball Hall of Fame shootout. Then in the nightcap, number 2, Kansas heads west to take on San Diego State. Great night of college hoops on CBS Sports Network. And there's a closer look at Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Hey, they're my pick as the best team in the country right now. You know, I just feel Wayne Selden, Perry Ellis, Frank Mason Jr., they got some guys that have won a lot of games. I've coached against those guys in Big 12. Been to that place that everyone loses called Allen Fieldhouse, and Cartwright with the drive.
Lindsey jammed it through on the alley-oop.
Two-hand hammer, that's two-hand hammers. Providence is getting fired up. UMass got to match that energy.
Points in the paint, almost half of Providence's 34 in the paint as we look back.
I mean, you're playing zone, so they don't do this, but that was a great play there. See this scissor screen where both guys came and set the screen so they couldn't get there, and he sliced right through the middle of them, and then it was a design play because obviously you saw the dunk with the alley-oop.
Holloway takes a seat. Jalen Lindsey following up his great effort on Saturday. He's got 10 points and 4 rebounds so far. Providence there in the bonus, UMass in the double bonus. As we're now coming up on 5 to play in the opening half. In the corner, Edwards. Davis has it for the Minutemen. Here they come in transition. Back on the kick, Anderson. That one no good, healed it. Bentel the rebound, gets it ahead into the hands of Kyron Cartwright. Cartwright gets free. Lamamba's got it. Inside, Bentel tried to go down with a hammer there, but he was fouled on the way to the rim.
That's just delayed transition again. Everybody's got to point to someone. They got to find a call a guy out, and then they got to get to their spots and play position defense. And Bentel's just a load inside. I mean, you got a guy that size going to the rim. He's either going to get fouled or he's going to make a poster of somebody.
Been
like
the latter.
That, right?
I do. It's been the latter a lot lately.
I mean, talk about the improvement. You talk to Coach Coolidge before the game today, and you say, Coach, what was it? You know, was it just add water? He said, no, the kid really worked hard, and he did his thing. And he made a great point. He says, I spent a lot of time with him. I spent a lot of time. I think that's the biggest key to what's going on in his season right now. And even talking about Chris Dunn, he said he spent a lot of time with him. He thought he would go to Fairfield when he was at Fairfield.
It's amazing.
It's a great compliment.
Yep. So we're inside of 5 minutes to go here in the half, Chris. If you're UMass, what are the biggest couple things that have to happen for them?
But you got to keep this thing within reach, keep it to 10 points. There's no 16-point shot, 2 by 2, and get back and get a couple stops and get some momentum going into the locker room.
Antoine Space will try from deep, and he knocks it down with Lindsey falling down to the deck. Big bucket there for Space.
Again, 2 by 2, 4 and some change to go in the half. Dunn on the bench. Plenty of time to make things happen.
Cartwright running their offense now. 2-3 look for UMass.
That's what UMass has. The guys like Space that can space you out and make those pick and pop jump shots, spread the floor. Could be a problem going forward for Providence. They don't find a way to guard it.
There's Bentel doubled. He kicks out. Shot clock now down to 5. Lamamba with a fake gets in traffic. Bentel got it and finished.
Just terrible defense by UMass. You're playing zone. You can't allow those guys to get into the crease of that defense right around the Atlantic 10 sign. And when that happens, it's not good for any zone.
Davis, fade away, no good. Lamamba takes it on the other end. Up and good. Space wanted to push. He doesn't get it.
See, that's just bad transition defense again. Trey Davis makes the shot. It takes the shot. If he takes the shot, someone else, C.J. Anderson, have to sprint back, and they have to be the guys to be the point of attack on the transition defense. Providence is icing the ball screens. I mean, they're not allowing them to come off the ball screen and keep it in the corner.
Berger with the rebound. Got it to Davis, and Davis sticks it from deep. 40-26 now. It's a 14-point deficit.
I mean, UMass seems like they're out of sync, but they're just hanging around. As Providence can't allow them to hang around, they're hanging around. They're making shots by hook or by crook to see if they can get a couple stops here.
Lumumba, watched by Anderson. Now Lindsey. Good first half out of him. Bento leads the way. He's got 16. Here's a jump shot, no good. Rebounded. Davis gets it over the timeline for UMass.
Good possession there. Kept him out of the lane. A one-shot possession.
Here's Davis. Tough shot off the glass. He's got 7 to go with 3 boards and 3 dimes.
I mean, it's fearless. When you can make a jump shot like that and they have to play you extended and you can get to the rim and finish, you're a tough matchup. Providence got to do a better job of keeping him out of the lane. He's a scorer.
So number 10, Providence. Now up by a dozen. Here's Bento. No good. Looked like a good stroke when he shot it. It goes over to UMass here with 2:07 to play in the first half. So Trey Davis, we talked about him at the outset. 40-point game. He's keeping his team in it here in the first half.
Little big man from Texas. Tell him that everything's big in Texas. Trey Davis to the hoop with a bucket. Be a power conference when it comes to basketball. And Northern Iowa beating Iowa State. I'm sure at the end of the day, they're still going to be really, really good. But that's a big win for Northern Iowa for sure. Northern Iowa always finds a way to just upset people. They're a tough team.
Xavier and Butler and Providence all in the top 10, repping the Big East, as the kids say. Very good teams. 2 minutes to go in the opening half. On the road, the 10th ranked team in Providence in the black uniforms is up by a dozen. UMass trying to get a shot here to get this thing down to single digits here late in the opening half. Shot clock under 10 now.
Yeah, they're icing him, forcing him to go baseline.
And he nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it. They didn't do a better job of coming up and helping, but they icing the ball screen, is forcing him to go baseline, not allowing him to come off and use his right hand, but he knocked that down.
Crowd into it.
UMass in that zone. Got to keep the ball out of the middle.
Here's Edwards from downtown. Stuck it. Edwards buries it. Drew Edwards, the freshman, with a big bucket.
And as I said it, once the ball goes to the middle, it draws the defense and they fan out, and it's just like shooting Sunday jump shots. They got to do a better job of keeping it out of the middle so they can't just find shooters.
13-point game now. And Berger wanted to go down on the block there, was looking down there for Malik Hines, and they throw it away.
I mean, good idea, good thought. Get into the lane by Berger. Just got to, hey, that's my old boss, my old coach would say the operation was a success, but the guy died. Did a great job. Got to finish the play.
That's right.
That's Rolly Massimino. That's what he should drive me crazy all the time.
Here's a triple try from Lindsey, no good. Rebounded in the lane by Anderson. So now 40 seconds and counting, a 13-point deficit for Trey Davis, and he walks it over the timeline.
Providence is going to get it back. UMass needs to get a really good possession here, make a basket, see if they can cut it to 10 going into halftime.
They're going to try it, and they do! Right on cue, Chris Walker. That's a big shot from the reigning A-10 player of the week.
I mean, Chris Dunn is out of the game, and the momentum changes, and giving UMass a leg up going into halftime with some enthusiasm, getting the crowd back in the game.
A dozen for Davis to match his uniform number. 5 seconds to go now. Cartwright swings it. Edwards going to try from downtown. Front rimmed it. No good. Tip in. It's put up and in. They say good on the floor. It was Lindsey that followed it up.
Coach Kellogg is not happy with Malik Hines.
They say good. They're going to walk over to the scoring table and take a look at this. If it counts, it's 45-33 Providence at the half.
Again, just not doing a great job of fighting. That was Space. Space didn't box out. Not doing a great job of fighting. Even Malik Hines, the same exact thing. You got 2 bigs in there. We'll see what the referee says. But again, they'll be down 12. But Coach Kellogg cannot be happy. They fought back, partner. And then again, the same thing that plagued them to start the game is what they end the half with. Just a downer going into halftime.
Well, they continue to look at this, make sure. We'll look back, watch the backboard and the lights. There's the tip. It goes into Lindsey's hands. Yeah, that looks good to me.
Yeah, it looks close, but it definitely looks good. It was a bang-bang, just caught it.
Here's a wider look, Chris.
Yeah, that's definitely
good.
Out of his hand. That's good.
They have.
I'm going to do their job. I'm going to take my CBS jacket off, put my stripes on.
Wearing the stripes?
He's at the booth way too long. It's not the NFL. That was nice and easy.
Here's one more look. Watch the clock down there in the lower left. And it's in his hands. And yeah, that's gone.
Yeah, that's gone.
That's gone. They're just doing a thorough job over there. That should be good.
Yeah, that definitely should be good.
And they're
we got a veteran crew.
Yep, they're breaking their huddle, and it is good. So they do their work, and they do their job, and they do it well. So number 10, Providence, puts up 45 here in the opening half. They lead at the break, 45-33. That's the end of the first half. Top 10 team in Providence on top. Make sure you stay tuned for AT&T at the half. You're watching college basketball right here on CBS Sports Network. Continuing on here at the half, 45-33. Number 10, Providence on top of UMass here. Back in our office, courtside, alongside former Villanova guard, Texas Tech head coach and UMass assistant coach Chris Walker. My name is Ben Holden. A lot to look back at in that opening half of play, Chris. And we talked about Dunn, Chris Dunn, at the outset of the show. He's come back, looked good. Bentel's been great as well for Providence.
He certainly has been good, and he's been the difference in the game. But that spirited talk at halftime by Coach Kellogg says it all. Get back in transition and make it a one-shot game if you do that. It's not about offense. We'll see what happens.
Moving pictures, take us through those.
Chris Dunn again, he's ahead of steam, going downhill. You have to stop it. You heard Coach Kellogg say you got to do a better job of heading off at the path and leveling off, but he's doing it from all areas of the floor. And then there's our guy, Bentel, just coming in like a freight train, doing it from the perimeter, making threes. And then Trey Davis, he's doing his best job to keep his team in the game. Coming up with a 40-point performance, he can score early and often, and they're going to need him to keep it up. But as Coach Kellogg said, defense, defense, defense.
And at the end of the half, a shot from Edwards. It went to Lindsay, who put it in. They looked at it, made the right call. That was the difference in a 12-point lead at the half.
Exactly, veteran crew. That was an easy one. You called that one. It was definitely good.
What catches your eyes among these numbers, Chris?
I mean, the most glaring thing is 22 points in the paint, but those were mostly layups in transition for sure. And the 13 assists by Providence playing together as a team made the difference in the first half. It's amazing how stats are. You didn't see Chris Dunn's name mentioned at all, written at all in those stats, and he completely controlled the game while he was in there.
He did. He was 4 of 5, 9 points, had 4 assists, 1 steal. Had 3 rebounds as well, and right to work goes Ben Bentel. 16 points for Bentel in the first half, 5 of 7. He was 2 of 4 from downtown. He was 4 of 4 at the line, and he had 6 rebounds.
And that's just a tough matchup for number 45, Rashawn Holloway. They're bringing Chris Dunn off the ball screen. They want to make you go under, so Holloway has to help. Bentel's going to pop, and when he gets it, there's no one in front of him. He's going to drive to the rim, and it's going to be hard to stop that play, which Holloway has to play the ball screen. You see him coming out of the game, they're putting space in.
Yep, space into the ball game, his first game of the season. So just a reset for you here if you're just joining us. Providence moved up to number 10 earlier today in the AP poll. 11-1, they've won 5 in a row. Bentel knocks down that second one. And UMass, highest ranked team they've had here at home since December of '04, when then number 7 UConn was here. And UMass pulled off the win that night. They've got work to do here in the opening minute of the half. As Dante Clark takes it in, challenges Bullock. And Clark, he tried to hustle, but he stepped on the baseline, turns it over to Providence.
Providence does a great job of not fouling. And that's something that a lot of teams, it's really hard to teach players to go straight up with verticality and not to come down, but it makes it very hard for offensive players to score when you don't just foul them and bail them out and put them on the line.
You referenced in our last halftime segment there, Chris, about what Derek Kellogg told his team. Do you sense, can you tell from the body language where their energy's at now or not?
I mean, it's hard to tell right now. Obviously, I mean that says it all right there.
Yeah.
About the attentiveness and alertness. How can you lose the best player on the floor? And I'm sure that's going to drive Coach Kellogg nuts. He was more fired up than his team was.
He was.
You know?
He was. UMass now trying to go to work. Good spin move by Coleman on Bullock. A beautiful job with his feet there.
But again, as Coach Kellogg said, it's not the offensive end, it's the defensive end. They need more intensity on the defensive end. They're going to have a chance to win this game.
It's Bentel now. Gets it into the hands of their leader, Dunn.
Really like this Providence team. They play together. We're at the shoot around. They all like each other.
That's a 3. Dunn looks so easy. He gave you a RoboCop look there, didn't he?
No, it was done like D-O-N-E.
14 for him. He's got 3 rebounds and 4 assists.
And the funny thing is that's really not his strength.
Yeah.
And if he does that,
Look
he's
out.
absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. So good at distributing. Davis in the air, gave it off to Space. He'll try an 18-footer, no good. Bullock had it, went into Lindsey's hands, and Dunn right in front of us has it.
Space probably wants that one back. He had the pick and pop. He was open, hesitated for a second. That's the length of Providence coming in and really just closing that shot off and making it more difficult.
Bullock inside. He and Lamambo were in there battling. Foul's going to be called on Antoine Space, big number 3.
Walkthrough, UMass walkthrough, Coach Kellogg, Sharon Chapman, the assistant coach who had the scout, they were talking about Providence loves to post up smaller guards, and that's what they're doing. That's a hard matchup, and that size at the guard spot. They're not big, overall big as a team, but they're so big. You know, their average height is what makes them so tough, and all of them are skilled making shoot.
And Cooley watching Rodney Bullock, the sophomore, knock down the first at the line, and Clark checks out of the game. He and Space are both 1 of 6 shooting.
Coach Cooley's got a very experienced staff. Got Jeff Battle, longtime assistant at Wake Forest. Got Andre LaFleur, won a championship at UConn. 2 guys are going to be head coaches one day. I mean, ADs, make sure you look at these guys building a successful program here at Providence.
Lyons takes it in strong for the finish for the Minutemen. It's Providence the other way. They turn it over. On the baseline was Jalen Lindsey. Lindsey's put a nice stretch of games together here for Ed Cooley. As much fun as I've had talking to a coach in about a year this morning.
Man, he was a hoot. I mean, he was funny.
If this coaching thing doesn't work out, stand-up comedy might be an option for him.
I didn't like the other thing he said. He says, as Hines going to the rim and making a great drive, trying to turn it up a little bit. He says, I might want to do what you guys are doing. I said, hold on now. I'm going to lose that battle.
He's got work to do
right now. Yeah, stay where you are. Give me a couple of years.
Yep, here's Dunn now. Using his body to Bentel. You can't stop it.
I mean, just a great dime. Again, talk about the keys of the game, keeping him out of the lane. Again, he controls the game.
Back comes Providence. Bullock came over like he was over the top, though. He wasn't. Good clean play, knocked it out of bounds. So good defense by Bullock and Bentel.
It is, and if I'm UMass, I might just go back to the zone as long as Chris Dunn is in the game, and hopefully they just Jack Breeze miss and get us some transition going, because playing man-to-man, he's just way too good. He's controlling the game.
Thank you.
Ball turned over, goes back over to the Friars of Providence. There's Bentel with 19 points. He's pulled down 6 rebounds. Fun to watch him.
I mentioned going zone. They're going zone now and try to keep him out of the lane. Kind of dare them to shoot. Lamamba and Dunn dare those guys to shoot threes. And hopefully they can get their break going.
Here's Bentel. Finds Dunn. Dunn on the deck. Kicks Lamamba from downtown. No good. Space the rebound for UMass. Now Hines has got it. Hines to Davis. 40-point game last week. Second highest scoring game in UMass history, and they've got plenty of it. Here's Hines, looks for a screen, but went the other way on it. Now gets Space the basketball.
Providence so long, they play great position defense. It's really hard to score on them small like that.
Tough shot, good rebound inside. Antoine Space had enough space. The board, the stick back, and he draws the foul.
Well, that happened because Davis drove to the rim, he drew the help, and there was no one to box guys space out. See, driving baseline, driving left. Bentel fell asleep a little bit, got pushed under the rim by Coleman. Space there to and one. Hey, he's his first game back. He's not in great shape, but he certainly has help, but he can help with more if he made a free throw.
6 points and 6 boards for him. 55-41, number 10, Providence in the lead.
To stay in that zone and dare them to make it from the perimeter.
There's Lindsey, and he does just that, Chris. Sticks it from distance.
Did he hear me talking over here?
I think he did.
Man, he just stepped right in. That's why they're number 10 in the country.
Here's Hines, jump shot from about 13, no good. Dunn. Here goes Dunn. What's he gonna do? Gave it off to Lamamba. He adjusts and finishes. Chris Dunn, unselfish, finding Lamamba, who finishes in transition.
But they're going to watch film tomorrow. UMass is going to watch film, and Trey Davis is going to watch himself under possession, and he's not going to be happy because Jabari Hines shot that ball. Trey Davis got to sprint back. He's the first guy that needs to be back.
Ball was kicked. 15-10 to play in the half. And Providence, their leader, Chris Dunn. First game back in a couple of weeks. First from downtown, and then the dime to Lamamba. Providence in control. Christmas just 4 days away. I bought nothing yet, by the way.
Ask Santa.
Here's a look now at who's driven to succeed. Brought to you by Continental Tire. We talked about these guys at the outset of the show, Chris.
I mean, Chris Dunn, again, we can't think enough about how he's controlling the game. And you know what? They may want to try to go at him a little bit and get him in foul trouble, because when he's in there, it's been a nightmare. Trey Davis is doing a good job, but I think he's got to pick it up a little bit more on the defensive end. As Coach Kellogg said, offense has not been their problem.
Look at our Driven to Succeed, brought to you by Continental Tire. And look at the two guys we're talking about. Davis, a senior out of DeSoto, Texas, and Dunn, a junior out of New London, Connecticut.
Been around a few big-time wins in my career as a player, as a coach. And the number one thing is intensity. You got to have a little bit of luck on your side.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it has to start on the defensive end for sure.
Here's Dunn. Bullock in tight space. Good job. You mentioned he's given him some good minutes. They get him in a little bit better game shape. He's going to be a good weapon for him. Here's Davis. Gives an off space drive. Switches hands. Got it to go. Off the rim and through.
Change his body there. Again, you're talking about a graduate transfer, a bigger body or older kid. It's certainly going to help.
Inside the pass. Bentel's got 21 now.
I mean, he's just everywhere. Stat sheet stuffer. He's as dangerous as Chris Dunn. The bottom line is, and we keep saying it time and time again, is that UMass can score, but they can't stop him. So you can't trade baskets with the number 10 team in the country. And they got to get this crowd into the game.
Right. 19-point deficit. Space. Playing with some inspiration. In tight on Bentel. Space, tough shot, no good. There's Dunn with a rebound. Chris Dunn. Lamamba. He'll take it in. No good. Follow up. And rebounded. Still won't go. Dunn in there.
Look at all the white shirts. Look at all the white shirts. I mean, Chris Dunn grabs the rebound amidst all the white shirts. Bottom line is, they got to play tougher. Take on Coach Kellogg's personality. Get in there. You're playing a number 10 team in the country on national TV. What do you have in the tank?
And Bentel, his 6th consecutive 20-point game. Bullock hasn't been involved a lot offensively, but a nice touch there for him.
And he's been picking up the slack. Chris Dunn was out. He was absolutely phenomenal. 13-13 the last game.
Yeah. 13.9 a game, 7.5 rebounds a game. This is Berger with it now. Trey Davis trying to get free of Lamamba. Good defender. Space going to try from downtown. In and out. Tipped up by Dunn into the hands of Coleman. Coleman up. Good defense by Dunn. Berger inside. And he draws a contact. It looked like Bullock in there on the foul for Providence.
We call it, in sports, we call it uphill, downhill. You see Zach Coleman again getting in there tough, and Seth Berger getting the offensive rebound. But they have shirts in there that are very active on the offensive end. They need to do it on the defensive end as well to stop them from scoring.
Going to turn that intensity up. Certainly going to get a substitution here. Dante Clark checks back in. He's off a 30-point game. His last outing is he comes in for Antoine Space to give him a breather.
And he's been relatively quiet. They need that three-headed monster of Hines, Clark, and Davis. They need all those guys clicking on all cylinders. You're going to beat this Providence team.
Clark was 1 of 5 in the opening half, 1 of 4 from three-point range for just 4 points. So to your point, he has not given him much. 64-45. Number 10, Providence in control. Looking for their 6th consecutive win. Their only loss to Michigan State in November.
Patient, run their offense. Dunn's out of the game right now. Very selective on your shots. No reason to rush up 20.
Yep. From the wing, Bentel. Berger the rebound. Davis now. Lefty dribble over the line, now slows it up, gives it back. 12-footer short, Berger crashing the glass. And it's tracked down by Kyron Cartwright.
That's a tough shot, CJ. Should just taken the three. Hardest shot in sports is that pull-up jump shot.
Mamba, he got hit pretty good down there on the block.
Coach Cooley's not happy. He says, go to the monitor and take a look at it and see if that was a flagrant. Again, got to pick the ball up.
There it is. What do you think?
Went for the ball again, swinging down.
They're going to look at it.
It's excessive. The key word is excessive. It's excessive. I mean, the bottom line is he's going up, he's coming down. There's going to be some gyrations, but at the end of the day, was there a malicious intent? I'm not sure on that play. You know, I'm the wrong guy to ask. I played in the old Big East. I'm probably not the right guy to ask.
I think it was, personally. I think this was.
I mean, he's going for the ball.
That right arm came down pretty hard, though.
It did.
What do they call?
Two-shot foul.
Okay. Old Big East rules then.
Old Big East rules. Just play ball. Take the stripes off the floor, get them off the floor, and let's just play.
Right.
That's how we used to do it. I was telling Coach Cooley before the game, I said, Coach, when I played in the Big East, the hardest place to play was the Dunkin' Donuts Center.
The dunk?
You know, it was the hardest place played during the time. The last time they had this run, 88-89, they had Carlton Stream, Eric Murdoch, Shamsuddin. They were very, very tough. Rick Barnes was the coach back then.
Yep.
Rick Barnes never let me. We beat him at one time in the DuPont. We called it the DuPont back then. He never let us live it down. We came back and said the refs cheated. Rick Barnes always give me a hard time about that. It's old Big East wars.
Both these coaches have had both these programs have had some great coaches in their history.
Oh, yeah.
Tremendous history for both these New England schools. Clark Davis into the corner now. 3-ball, no good. Lamamba had it, lost it off his hand. It's going to remain with the Minutemen. Their possession. We get a timeout. And the number 10 team in the nation, Providence, on top here on the road against UMass, 66-45. 11:55 to play in the ball game. 66-45. Number 10 Providence on top. And let's get inside of the Providence huddle. Listen to their head coach, Ed Cooley.
They find out of bounds, we're going to go chill the whole possession. Your guards don't let them get split. Don't get screened. Those guys are down there battling. I'm on Junior's neck to rebound, but the guards are the ones who are the better rebounders in the zone. Those guys will make sure you tag the body because they're coming. 88 press breakers. 88 press breakers, okay? You guys start.
I mean, listen to Coach Cooley. He's a lot more calm than he was at shoot-around today. And you know,
he was awesome.
But he's up 20 right now. But he, you know, one thing he talked about, he coaches them very hard. And, you know, I got to praise the NCAA. I'm always have some animus towards him about a lot of things.
It's a former coach.
Yeah, I know. But the one rule change they made, we talked about the on-the-court changes. They made a rule off the court where the coaches can go out to eat with the players.
Yeah. And
it allowed them to spend a lot more time with them, and he credits that his relationship with his players and made his team better.
It's a family, and that certainly helps the bond and the closeness of that said family, no doubt about it. It's a good point by you, and it's fun listening to you two talk about that this morning. Here's Clark from deep, and he sticks it. Dante Clark, a 3-ball, and he makes it 66-48. Now UMass trying to force a turnover. It was Clark and Berger down there. Davis in the neighborhood as well.
Into the lane by Davis and drawing the defense and kicking. Got to get Clark going. But again, being able to pick him up full court here, try to increase the tempo. I think it'd be a move in the right direction of UMass. It may get the crowd involved and get them to turn the ball over.
Yep. Crowd was into this game in the opening half, but it's a 12-point lead at halftime for Providence. Now Providence on top by 18 here, 66-48 with 11:20 to play in the game.
Just look for any ball screen action for Dunn. Just keep the ball in his hands and let him make plays.
Here he goes, takes it in, lobs it up inside. Bullock, nice job, beautiful pass.
I think I can coach that team. What do you think?
I think
just
so.
Give it to number 3. But just terrible defense by UMass.
Yes.
And they're going to be watching film tomorrow all day long. I know finals are over, but coach got to teach them a couple more things. Get them focused. on how to guard him. Got to keep him out the lane. They went over time and time again, and it's just not transferring over in this game.
Davis, the miss there.
I will say this about Coach Kellogg. You know, he talked about, hey, we're going to get there. You know, we're short-handed. We have injuries. Space is coming back. He's very confident.
Yep.
He talked about how tough the A-10 is as well, and how surprised he is. So he knows where they need to be, and he's been there before. And he made the greatest comment of all about the names up there on the top of the building. See, I dropped a couple dimes to those guys, right? Camby and Rowe.
Dr. J.
Dr.
Julius Irving.
Lou Rowe on the bench, played with him.
Yep.
Final four. Got some great players here.
Ed Cooley looking up there is done. Walked with it. Good defense by Anderson and Davis. They forced the turnover. Ed Cooley looked up there and he saw Al Skinner.
Yes, former boss.
That's awesome. And he was back down memory lane talking about that, the opportunity that he gave him.
They gave us nightmares at Villanova when Al Skinner was there.
Yeah.
And he made a great point about recruiting. And I look at the roster, they got guys from all over the place. And he just said, hey, I just want guys who want to play for me.
Right.
And that's for my program.
Yep.
He made that great point. I think a lot of coaches lose sight in that recruiting. They look at all the rankings and stuff. And at the end of the day, just get a guy that fits your profile.
There are those banners.
Yeah, Lou Rowe.
Of course, the newest one on the right there, Calipari.
Hey, let me tell you something. I've worked here before. They had the old boarding building. What they did back in the day, playing in the cage, is unbelievable. Calipari, hands down, is one of the best coaches in the country building this program.
Yep, absolutely. Foul called on the shot by Clark. And this was last Wednesday when John and his family, his wife and his daughters and his son there, and what an honor for the head coach of Kentucky, who did a lot of damage here.
Yes, he did.
From 88 to 96, damage in a good way. A lot of wins and a lot of tradition was built with his program here.
He did it here, and then he goes to Memphis.
Yep.
And does it there.
Yep.
And
Derrick
then he
Rose
goes to Kentucky and does it there. And Lou Rowe. Lou Rose looks like, I watched him today, I said, Lou Rowe looked like he could still put a couple of baskets. Got to get rid of that gray beard. He might be able to sneak in there and use him right now. So they got an extra uniform. He was an animal when he played. Yeah. I remember him.
So at the free throw line is Clark. 10:25 to go in the contest. Trying to get it to an 18-point game, and Dante Clark does just that off a 30-point game last week.
Pick the pressure up, extend the floor. Providence worked on this extensively in their walkthrough.
Yeah.
Not going to be easy with number 3 out there, but again, just trying to take time off the clock. Shortened shot clock now with the new rule. And got to keep the ball out of number 3's hands.
Edwards for Bentel. Watched by space. Bentel trying to get free. Knocked away. And out of bounds off of Antoine's space. He's giving him good minutes here in this ball game. First game back. There's Bentel. He'll get it. He'll try it from downtown. Knocks it down. Banging it through is Big Ben Bentel. What a touch for the big man.
That's when you're watching the game. You're like, A big guy can make shots like that with a body like that.
Tough to defend. Here is Dunn. He gives it up on the run. To the rack goes Edwards. An easy layup there for Drew Edwards, the freshman. Timeout taken by Derek Kellogg, who called Chris Dunn a player very, very similar to Derrick Rose. Talking about Memphis earlier in his college days. 23-point lead for number 10 Providence. Some of the highlights from this ball game. Appreciate the folks in our truck doing that for us. And it's a 23-point lead for number 10 Providence here halfway through the second half. This Sunday, join us over on CBS for a special presentation of professional bull riding for the most exciting 8 seconds in sports. It's PBR Danger on the Dirt, Sunday at 3 or 5 Eastern, only on CBS. There's Chris Dunn. You called him RoboCop at 7 o'clock when he came on the air.
He has not disappointed.
No, he's been a very, very good officer tonight for Providence.
I went to see Star Wars yesterday, and they say the Force awakens.
Yeah.
He came back, he awakened. He's been unbelievable. I mean,
I love the quote from, there was a recent article done by Sports Illustrated where Dunn opened up more than he ever has about his childhood. And it was a difficult one for he and his brother, and his mother had passed, and his father that he didn't know early on came back into his life, and Ed Cooley and him had a great meeting. His space fades away and misses. And the quote from Ed Cooley, when you talked about him at Fairfield, is there on the run. It's blocked, but a foul's going to be called on space. Just to finish this up, Ed Cooley said, "You're the only dude in America I want."
Right.
He was going to go to Fairfield and play for him. He didn't care. He just trusted him, and they had a connection.
It's an emotional connection.
It is.
I looked at something online the other day. It said 46 players are transferring. You know,
wow.
and you talk about the connection when you're getting recruited. It's important.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the name on the front of the jersey. Go with the people instead of the program.
Yep.
The people are most important. And it's got to, you know, sometimes it's hard for people to see that. But thank God that happened for Chris Dunn, because he has been unbelievable.
Great move by Hines there, but a great job in the air by Hines.
I mean, Hines, they got to get themselves going. They got to really do a better job of stopping.
Right.
I mean, we watched a minute ago while you were talking. Dunn advanced the ball, another layup. Again, they're doing fine on offense.
Right.
It's defense.
Right.
They got to pick the intensity up.
Yep. 75-52. And Bentel with 24 points. Career high, he's tied. Lindsey from the corner, spin out. Bullock the rebound. And goes back up, no good. Bentel trying to set a new career high. Providence, you would not know they're up by plus 20 in this game. They continue to get after it. They hustle. It was turned over, though, into the hands there of Anderson. Now Anderson had it, lost it. Bodies all over the deck. There's Antoine Space, big number 3 in there for UMass.
They made you work there, partner.
They did. they worked hard to get that, man. It's like rugby.
That was about as much energy UMass has shown this half.
Yeah, it was.
On the defensive end.
And that's where it's got to be, as you've kept preaching on, but for good reason.
It's the intensity. I talked about defensive intensity as a key for Providence. It needs to be defensive intensity key for UMass. Particularly, one of the other keys is second shot. They're just giving up too many second shots.
Saw it done there, having words with his head coach. Checks out of the game.
Talk about the Big East Conference. And you're talking about Providence being number 10 in the country. You got Marlon out of Villanova.
Butler.
Georgetown's dropped a few, but they're going to be there. Xavier, top 10 Butler. I mean, that league has been, people thought it was going to go down once the other teams left, and they have just done a great job of keeping it right there. Credit the commissioner and the recruiting of the coaches.
Finds from downtown, he knocks it down.
It's starting to heat up a little bit. Still down 20, though.
Butler took care of Purdue over the weekend, so they continue to impress. Hines with a dozen now in the ball game for UMass. Bullock. There's Ben Bentel with a rebound.
C.J. Anderson's undersized there. He just got to take Bentel out. It doesn't matter if he gets the rebound. Just don't let Bentel get it.
It's tough to do.
It is tough. Grab on one of those pipes. One of those pythons, as Hulk Hogan used to say, because he's put together. It looks like Vernon Davis.
He is put together.
From the
Here
Broncos.
he is on the deck, goes in. He's going to go to the free throw line. We're going to take a timeout, though, with 7:11 to play in the ball game. A 20-point lead for Ben Bentel and number 10, Providence. A little more than 7 minutes remaining in the game. Number 10, Providence on top of UMass by 20 points. Our game summary. Chris Walker, anything grabbing you there?
The 51% from the field. Just look at everything on the left side.
Yeah.
The 9 threes, 23 assists, 38 points in the paint. Bentel, I mean, again, they're controlling it at every facet, but you know where I'm going to go.
Sure.
Again, there's another graphic where my man Chris Dunn is not there, and he's been the absolute difference. The assists, I mean, he's controlled the game. He's made other guys better. I mean, he's just a force to be reckoned with.
You nicknamed him RoboCop. He's my first chance seeing him. He's the real deal. He has done everything tonight very well. Here's a look back at his work tonight.
I mean, he's an all-around player, reigning Big East Player of the Year, reigning Big East Defensive Player of the Year. On every watch list, we should call him the Watcher, because he's on every list. He's extremely athletic. Again, when you have a player like him, it makes your job a lot easier as a coach. And when he's a willing player and he has a great attitude, it makes him that much more special. If I had a cat like that, I probably wouldn't be sitting over here with you. I like you, but if I coached a dude like that, I would still be on the other side.
The quote from Cooley.
Exactly. I would have
You're the only dude in America I want.
Dude.
A great quote. This is great.
Well, we do have, there's a saying, he's definitely a dude because he's super, super, super talented.
Yes, he is. So 7:02 to go. Cartwright will inbound here for Providence.
You know, I love Dunn so much. Listening to Cooley talk about it, like oftentimes with the AAU mentality, you see a lot of these kids and parents so spoiled.
Yeah.
And when you see a great one that has a great attitude, it just reminds you of what it could be, and you just wish that more people knew that example and would follow that script.
No doubt about it. Here he is from three-point range. No good. Rebound into the hands of Davis. Trey Davis on the run, and traffic up, and no good on the hoop. Foul called inside against Providence, so heading to the free throw line goes Trey Davis.
Again, coming down the transition, Trey Davis very dangerous. See, Lindsey didn't do a good job of leveling him off, and he gets to the rim. Cartwright too late there. They've extended the restricted area from one more foot. I think that will make it a little bit tougher for defenders. People say it may make it easier, but again, may make it tougher.
I don't know if you saw the story about Davis. He had a bad game, and his mom shut his phone off. Did you see that?
I did see that.
It was all over Deadspin, and he came back with a 40-point game. Maybe his mom should shut the phone off
for the rest of the year.
Yeah, just shut it off, and then he's going to be good every night.
She's probably watching, so I don't think Trey would want that.
I thought that was a great story. I thought that was great. He said she was mad at me, so she turned off my phone. They lost to Florida Gulf Coast.
Don't sleep on Florida Gulf Coast. Joe Dooley down there is doing a great job.
No.
Dunk City's got a little tradition. No shame in losing there for sure on the road.
Here is Bentel now. He sets a new
So
career
good.
high.
So good.
26 points for Ben Bentel. He had 24. He tied that tonight. He had 24 against Evansville the end of November, but he has knocked in 26 tonight to set that high.
He posts up, pick and pop threes, mid-range game, runs the floor, just does everything. And again, same as Dunn, coach says he's a joy to coach, a great kid.
Here's Space, Lindsey on him. Space trying to give the basketball over in the lane. Foul's going to be called on Lindsey, a push with 5:50 to play in the contest.
I mean, Space is a matchup nightmare. I mean, pick and pop, he can put the ball on the floor. He's got some experience. Once he gets himself in shape, UMass is going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
I believe Coach Kellogg, he's got to get guys in shape, keep getting Holloway in shape. Again, they're just playing against a team that has long athletes, and it's just one of the best teams in the country tonight.
Yep. But you just can't make the mistakes that they've made at the times they've made them. As Clark checks back in, as Davis will take a seat on Derek Kellogg's bench.
You're down. It's 6 minutes to go, a little bit under 6 minutes. You're down 20. Right now, with the three-point shot, you still have a chance to win. Remember, we did the Georgetown game, and UNCW got it going on the road. Well, they just got to keep playing 2 by 2. Always have a chance to win in college basketball. There's enough time on the clock.
You're right. Here's Dunn. Goes up in the air. Strong move. Couldn't finish. Stumbled, gathered himself. Now here comes Hines the other way for the Minutemen. Clark from downtown. No good. And Dunn comes back and then slings it ahead for Bentel, who goes up and good for points 27 and 28.
I'm going to have to start calling him Cam Newton. I mean, how many long passes? I'm going to kill the name RoboCop. You might start dabbing out there in a minute.
Oh, man. Here's Holloway.
Isn't it unbelievable?
He gets the bucket.
Sheesh. What can't he do?
Unreal. Here he goes. Take a peek at him.
Gets the rebound, look at the long outlet, not sprinting back in transition. I mean, he sees an opening. I mean, he's going to throw it. He can throw it. You know, you lead him, quarterbacks throw it before he's open.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just gifted.
He kind of threw that like a discus. He didn't come over the top like a convent. He like kind of threw it from down parallel to the court almost, didn't he?
He's super talented. I think he's, I mean, I would say, again, I would challenge someone to tell me who's better than him.
Yeah.
You can have your opinion, just tell me who it is.
Right.
You know, in the country.
Right.
I think he's the best player in the country.
Tough to argue now, seeing him live here. Here's Hines, good move to get around Cartwright. Hines up and in with the left hand.
Love Hines' intensity. He's been attacking the basket at will. They just got to get some stops. They got to grind it out and just go after him, particularly with Dunn out of the game. Got to go after him.
Yep. Here's Lamamba. Myron Cartwright now running it. As you said, Dunn checked out of the contest a couple of minutes ago.
Stay in that zone, see if they can get him to take a long three, get a long rebound, and get a transition three.
Lamamba from 14 wouldn't go. Here's Hines now. Back to Coleman. Coleman on the deck, lost it, and it goes over to Providence. Good defense by Ben Bentel. So we'll take a timeout. Number 10 team in the nation continues to lead here at UMass with less than 4 to play in the ballgame. Number 10 team in the land is on top, 79-61. Providence over UMass. Big day tomorrow here on CBS Sports Network. Road to the Final Four continues with a quadruple header. Number 13 Miami against LaSalle at 5, followed by Georgetown at Charlotte. Then it's number 25 South Carolina and St. John's in the Basketball Hall of Fame shootout. In the nightcap, number 2 Kansas goes west to take on San Diego State. Great day, great night of college hoops on 24-hour home of CBS Sports, CBS Sports Network. And this, Chris Walker, has been a problem for UMass all night.
It definitely has been a problem. Not as much as the defense in my estimation, but the bottom line is if they were going to beat the number 10 team in the country who just got back their best player, they need that three-headed monster to be a monster tonight, and that just has not happened.
Providence all-time against UMass, 23-7, 8-2 here. UMass had won 2 of the last 3. This is a rivalry that went away, but the 2 coaches the last, 4 years now have reinstated it.
They should play each other. No one should be afraid to play each other.
Yep.
I mean, the thing about college basketball, the atmosphere right now, you see so many upsets. Look what Monmouth's doing.
Monmouth bench.
I mean, unbelievable. King Rice is doing a phenomenal job there. Look at UT Arlington. They beat some guys. And at the end of the day, that's what people want to see. They want to see people playing each other.
Look inside. They give it up to Bentel. Rebound for Ben. Up and good. And he draws the foul. He'll go to the line. Bentel having a star-studded night scoring the basketball.
Again, he's just Sean Holloway. Again, a little bit better shape to deal with a guy like Bentel. I mean, that's something that I'm sure that they're on him about. And he certainly has a future as well. But again, he can look at the success that Bentel had from one year to the next, and maybe he can duplicate that. But tonight, he has got his hands full with number 0.
30-point night. Make it 31 for Bentel. So Big Ben has been just that, and here's what Ed Cooley's done in his tenure.
I mean, just phenomenal. You know, building the program back. They've always been a program that's had a lot of success, but they're doing it his way, and they've taken on his personality. And like you said before, I love talking to him. He's a lot of fun.
How about that play by Cartwright? Came in and got it away and denied the big fellow Holloway inside.
You just got to get in better shape because you just got to be a quick jump and a dunk. And as he gets older and he gets in better shape, that'll be an easier basket. That's a teaching point. Talk about being in tip-top shape.
Bentel takes it hard to the basket. He's fouled by Holloway. 31 and 12 for Ben Bentel and 2 blocks. So, I mean, people are already starting to talk about Bentel, but if he keeps playing at this pace, look out come March.
Look out for Providence. I mean, you talk about number 3 and number 0, like you said, and then think about the ancillary parts. You got Lindsey, you got Bullock, who can help him when no one else is in the game doing the things that you want him to do, like Dunn or whoever's hurt. They can come in and just take over at any single time, and they're long. That's the other thing, and they play hard. It's a tough team. I mean, look out, Big East. Providence is pretty good.
Very good. Holloway checks out of the game. 83-61 with 2:51 remaining. Providence number 10. Leave it to me to make a hockey reference. I do on every show I do practically. With their hockey team, with Nate Lehman, they won the national championship last year. And they're number 1 in the nation. They've yet to lose this season. So things are good.
So you're out of my wheelhouse. You're out of my wheelhouse right now.
That's all I'm saying.
You're out of my wheelhouse.
Talk about Michigan State that way with their program. You know that's going to happen.
I knew you were going to sneak them in there some type of way.
Football and basketball. It's tough to do in a couple of different sports. So tip of the cap to Ed Cooley and Nate Lehman, the coaches at Providence in their respective sports. Ball turned over to Providence.
2 and some change left. UMass play for pride now.
Yep.
It'll be tough to win this game. Play for pride. Play till there's no time left on the clock, and look forward to the next game. Both these teams have an extended break to look forward to.
They do. Bentel is checked out of the game. UMass, they will not play again until the 29th of December against Long Island, Brooklyn. And Providence, they'll be off until the 31st against Butler. A bucket inside there for Providence to make it 85-61 with 2 to play in the game.
They're just clicking on all cylinders. It's one of those deals where Coach Kellogg talked about at halftime of the fiery speech about not getting back in transition, second chance points, just hustle things. It wasn't the scoring. You know, they got 61 points. They probably could end up getting 70. It was the defense and the intensity of it was what cost them this game.
Substitutions coming here for Providence. 3 new players have checked into the contest. Substitutions for UMass as well. So Ed Cooley getting some guys that don't get a lot of minutes into a game that's clearly going to go their way. They do a lot of hard work and don't get a huge opportunity to play. Make sure you never miss a moment of college basketball with the CBS Sports app. Every play, every score, every game, and every highlight. Right as they happen, download the CBS Sports app now. From three-point range, that was Berger. Goes over to Providence here. It was tipped off of UMass. So Providence will go to 12-1 going into Christmas. That only lost to Tom Izzo's guys in November. Top 10 ranking, and Derek Kellogg and his guys will have, what, 8 days off before they play again, as we mentioned.
UMass is going to be just fine. They're getting space back, play with a little bit more intensity, got guys that can score. They'll be fine in Atlantic 10, that's for sure. Don't let this game be indicative of what they're going to be.
He's been good here. He's been good in the second half.
He really has. He really has. He's the one shining light.
He has. Final minute of play here in Amherst. There's a nice job inside. They get Tom Planek, the walk-on out of Oak Park, Illinois. A nice reverse scoop and score.
Always feels good. The bench always lets the walk-ons make a basket. Yep. The guys that don't get to play that much make a basket. Like you see them getting fired up for their teammates.
So good job by Planek, 6'6" sophomore. Space at the free throw line with 49.4 to play in the game.
These games are always hard when you go into a break.
Yeah.
The turkey don't taste as good on Christmas. You know,
when you lose,
When you lose. But as a coach, you got to keep it all in perspective.
Right.
And that's what Coach Kellogg is going to do. He's going to keep it in perspective. He's going to watch the film with them, although I would bury this one if I was him. Because they're going to be a lot better than what they've shown tonight. I mean, they're certainly a much better team than this. But at the end of the day, they got guys that have been hurt. They're trying to figure it out. And again, they're going to get their mojo at some point. And it comes from the leader, and they certainly got a great one.
Yes, they do. So Providence. Another opportunity, that one from the wing there from Casey Woodring. He's a junior out of Darien, Connecticut.
He's firing them up.
He's like, hey, I'm shooting.
He came to get a bucket.
Space goes in there hard against Smith.
He's like, look, I'm on national TV. My mom's probably watching. I'm going to get me a bucket.
Gave it a shot. Here's the last sequence of events.
Driving hard. Can't turn her body. Got to get there and be solid. Quadri Smith, a little bit late. Not happy about it, but still gave his body up for the team. That's a good thing. Think about it. It's 31 seconds on the clock. That says something about Providence.
Sure.
He still tries to take the charge.
Yep.
That's a culture. Remember they had the shirts that culture, was it Culture Matters?
Culture matters.
Culture matters. They all walk around with the shirt. And I agree. Coaching is great, but culture is also a big part of what makes successful programs.
Integrity and loyalty and trust and honesty are the things they talk about in that.
Is that a marriage proposal? I mean, what's that? I mean,
is it what?
Culture. Man.
Not for me, it's not.
There's a lot of words in there. Integrity. Wow.
Yeah, there are. 90-66. Providence 12-1. They'll go into the break. UMass will go in 6-5. Jump ball. Providence with the possession arrow. So they'll get it, Ed Cooley's guys. They take care of business here on the road. The number 10 team in the land. They're going to prevail in this one, 90-66. They never trailed in the game. They're 9-2 all time here at UMass. So Ed Cooley and Derek Kellogg, their teams congratulate one another. Part of our Holiday Hoops here on CBS Sports Network. We'll come back, we'll wrap it up and have a final thought here from Amherst right after this.